Hi dear audience, hope you would be fine. Today in this short video we would be talking about the thematic analysis and the techniques which are involved in the while doing the thematic analysis. Usually it is this question is asked to the researcher that what sort of analysis you have done. Mostly in the types of the novels are the texts where literature, the fiction text is involved. Usually it is done as the thematic analysis. There is a slight difference between the thematic analysis. Thematic analysis, the name refers that by this analysis we trace out the themes. But themes does not mean that just you can go pick up the themes. It is scientific, it is symmetrical. So we have to be very careful while doing this one. This sort of analysis usually done in the qualitative research methods, and it analyze the patterns and the themes and meaning within the data set of the qualitative data. For example, if you are doing the analysis of a novel or a text means definitely fictional text. So it is widely used in the various disciplines including psychology, sociology, anthropology, and organizational research and the literature to explore and understand the content and the context of the textual data. Here it is very important that context always supports the content, and when you are going to extract the themes, you are supposed to focus on the content as well as the context of that text as well. You know, text happens in the historical context, means in the background of the social context. Text speaks of the history of that time as well. Text speaks of the culture of that time as well. Text speaks of that social and religious norms of that times as well. If I take the example that Arundhati Roy's novel The God of Small Things, it basically speaks of the not only the operation of the untouchables, but it also speaks of the prevailing inequalities in India. Similarly, if we talk of the Pakistan, the marriage, for example, the Quranic marriage which are done in the Sindh, they can be contextualized in different novels. This step of thematic analysis includes the very first step is familiarization with the data. In this type of analysis, first the reader has to read out that text and analyze, has to familiarize with those themes, what might be the possible themes, and those themes may be interlinked with one another as well. For example, some themes of oppression, particularly with reference to the woman, might be associated with the cultural practices, with the religious practices, with the archetypes. Some sort of archetypal concepts may be there. So the very first step is that reader has to familiarize with the data. Researcher becomes thoroughly acquainted with the data set by reading and rereading the text. This helps in gaining a holistic understanding of the material. During your vivas of the MPhil and PhDs, the supervisors, means the external examiners, ask this question that what type of reading methodology you have adopted towards this text. So I have always seen that the researcher seems confused. Means this is thematic analysis is a reading technique. So and then if somehow the researcher successfully answers that I have done the thematic analysis, then they ask another question that how you have done. So the answer to how doing this is that first you familiarize with the data, and then you generate the initial codes. Means initial codes never means that you have to mark out number 1, number 2, number 3, but like this, that these are the economic factors which are contributing towards the oppression of the female, particularly, for example, in any novel. These are the religious factors, these are the educational factors, these are the color factors which are going to contribute towards the operation of the woman. So you generate initial code, and the factors which are associated with one another, you keep that in that category are the codes. Researchers start by identifying meaningful units of information, often referred as codes, which capture the key ideas or the concept. These codes can be descriptive, emotion, behavior. From here, descriptive means how they are described, how the characters are described. Emotions means what sort of emotional what sort of emotional situation they are behaving or acting out, and then the behaviors, and then the interpretive and the power dynamics and the social norms as well. Then searching for the themes. In that third step, you search out the themes properly. Codes are then grouped together and based on the similarities and the pattern. For example, if I talk with that of the A Passage to India, there is a novel A Passage to India. So Dr. Aziz, that character Aziz, Dr. Aziz was humiliated on two grounds, and one was his economic disability as compared to the English people. This is one. Number two was his ethnicity. He was an Indian. Similarly, as he was the Indian, it means that he was the non-native speaker. So second category of operation for Dr. Aziz is that of the Indianness, and the third one, that he was not of that color of the English people. So Dr. Aziz was oppressed on the ground of and he was the Hindu as well, means he was not Christians. In that social scene of the novel, we see that the Christians were considered of the superior race, while the Hindus and the Muslims were considered as the oppressed and the citizen of the second and the third order. So in that context, the Hindus and the Muslims were both under disadvantageous positions, and particularly in that context, those people who were without money, they were doubly disadvantageous position. There were some Muslim people who were enjoying their social positions, though they were second citizens, but they were of the good status as compared to other people who were the Muslim, but they were of the economically disadvantageous position. So in this way, we code the themes, and then the sub-themes, and then the sub-themes. So the research looked for connections and relationship between the codes, searching for higher order themes that reflect the broader ideas and the concepts. So as I have given the example of that of the Passage to India, on the very individual and particular and the deep levels, this novel talks about the inequalities, cultural differences which was prevailing with the relationship of the colonizer and the colonized. But in the larger context, this may be taken as a post-colonial colonial text and the post-colonial text, that the masters and the slaves can never be the equal. And in detail, this relationship has been discussed. So the fourth step, which is that reviewing and refining themes, researchers review and redefine the identified themes as well, ensuring that they accurately represent the data set. Themes may be merged, split and modified based on the relative process of analysis. Means what would be that you have to adopt that of the particular adoptability. Then you have to define and naming the themes. Each theme is given a clear and concise definition that captures its essence. Researchers need descriptive and illustrative quotes from the data set to support and exemplify their themes as well. So then the last process is that writing the narrative. Finally, the researcher construct a coherent narrative that represents the findings. This narrative is supposed to be logical, well supported, reflective data set, and it often includes the relevant quotes and extracts to illustrate the identified themes. So, moving towards the conclusion, we can say that data and thematic analysis allows the researchers to explore the richness and complexity of the qualitative data set, but by systematically organizing and interpreting it, it provides the insights into the underlying meaning and experiences and perspectives of participants, enabling a deeper understanding of the research topic. So it's not a haphazard process. You have to organize yourself, and the main reason for which I have recorded this video, I have always seen the research scholars as confused when they are asked a question from their external experts that what reading methodology they have adopted. The simple answer to is that thematic analysis is usually done under psychology, sociology, fiction, and to trace out the themes. And in that thematic analysis, we keep looking the text and the context. We both focus on the content and the context of the that text. With this, goodbye. If you have any question, you may ask me. Thank you.